So Snow White and the Huntsman, which is yet another take on the Snow White legend. Already this year we've had Mirror Mirror, which was really very quite disappointing. Very quite disappointing indeed.
It was really, really rubbish, I think is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, so now we have another take on it. Kristen Stewart as Snow White, Charlize Theron as the stepmother, gives her some backstory. Snow White off into the woods. Charlize Theron's evil stepmother realises that in order to retain her youthfulness, she needs to basically get Snow White's heart, sends off the Huntsman to go and get it. I mean, it's the story that you know, but with a kind of twist, which the central twist being that effectively Snow White is a sort of Joan of Arc character who shall lead a rebellion against the evil queen. Anyway, here's a clip.
Find her. Bring her to me.
Oh, I've been to that forest. I'm not going back.
You will be rewarded handsomely.
What good is gold to me if I'm lying dead with the crows picking at my eyes? Why is she of such value?
That is none of your concern.
I'll determine what concerns me, thank you.
You will do this for me, Huntsman!
If I refuse, do me the favor, I beg of you.
To his knees. So you wish to be reunited with your beloved?
Do not speak of my wife.
You miss her. What would you give to see her again? You know of my powers. Bring me the girl, and I will bring back your wife.
Charlize Theron doing English, which is the
Pretty
default
good, which is
scary language,
yeah,
yes.
which is okay, but you have to say Chris Hemsworth's
doing
Scottish accent.
Yes, we went over to our Scottish correspondent, i.e. our producer Robin, and said...
Editor.
Oh, sorry, is it editor?
Scottish
Sorry,
editor.
editor.
Oh, dear me.
And that's it, I'm going to... Yeah. And we said, what's that Scottish accent
how
like?
good is the
How
accent?
is good?
And the answer was rubbish.
Rubbish. But the thing is, I think even a boy from Barnet and a boy from... Southgate would know that
miles apart.
Miles apart, exactly. No, but the fact is, it called to mind Russell Crowe. And Jason Isaacs doing his impression of Russell Crowe doing the accent in Robin Hood, which did all four corners of the globe in
at least he stays put in wherever it is he's basing it. It doesn't wander from one part of the world to the other, which is what Russell Crowe is doing.
Yeah, Russie, exactly.
But apart from the accent,
apart from that, he's perfectly fine.
fun.
So here's the thing with this. I mean, it's got a very much an advertising pop video sensibility. It's all in the look, and it is sort of visually fairly well designed. I quite enjoyed it. I certainly didn't take against it in the way that I've seen some really, really bad one-star reviews. I didn't think it was that. I mean, certainly, if you sat through Mirror Mirror, Snow White and the Huntsman is the better partner. Again, I understand that that's damning with very, very faint praise. I did have a problem with the whole, because when she goes off and then she finds the dwarves who are people like Ray Winstone and Eddie Marsden and Toby Jones, their heads CGI, altered to look like, and how they do it is I suppose
CGI short, aren't they?
Yeah, CGI short. And I thought that whole sequence just was problematic in so many different ways.
It's very funny.
I didn't. Did you think it was?
I
mean, the funny thing is, that's the bit of the movie which has got all the people I'm most fond of. Love Eddie Marsden, love Toby Jones, love Ray Winstone. Great. But that section for me didn't. What was it that you enjoyed particularly about that section?
It was funny.
Okay, fine.
There hadn't been any funny up until that point.
There'd been an awful lot of there'd been an awful lot of that. So I thought it was fine. I mean, I thought that the whole thing is building towards kind of general. It's nothing. It's going.
There are no jokes about poo until Ray Winstone.
Yes, and Ray Winstone makes not one, not two, but three jokes about poo. So here's what I thought. Of the two, it's way, way better than Mirror Mirror, and I quite enjoyed watching it. And there is a certain amount of spectacle in it, and it is visually well designed. I thought it bagged down somewhere off in the dark forest. I certainly did not object to it as much as some critics appear to have done, but in the end it is insubstantial. I mean, it's it's not a film of great meaty substance. It's certainly not kind of like, an Angela Carter revisiting a fairy tale that really gets into the meaty subtextual stuff. It doesn't do that. It's all surface, but it's quite nice surface. But it does have, you know what I mean when I say pop video advertising, that kind of. There's a sequence which I think is in the trailer in which Charlize Theron comes out of a bath of milk and her face is kind of completely covered in white,
milk.
But it's not milk because they've done something with it in order to make it sort of stick. So she looks like an android. So it kind of looks like she's turned into something made of porcelain, and it's a great moment. I'm not quite sure what it achieves, but it's like, it's all to do with the moment. It's rather than the overall oneness.
It reminded me of the Carry On Cleo scene. I was expecting Charles Hawtrey to
come on and say, do you want it pasteurised? No, just up to me, it'll do fine.